Hood. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Boxing fans, hold your horses. Let's stop taking it to the goddamn stupid. Now, people have complained for years about boxing and the best not fighting the best. Deontay Wilder for years said, in the heavyweight division, there needs to be one face, one name, and that's Deontay Wilder, baby. Boom, squad. Okay. He didn't quite get to that point, did he? You know why he didn't? Because 50-50 fights started being made. And of course, Tyson Fury had a little bit to do with that. He took a pound of flesh out of him. But the bottom line is, in the realm of boxing, right? When you start to get 50-50 fights, it delivers, I think, a uniqueness to where fight fans don't know who's going to win. And sometimes you end up with a unique outcome. So it surprises me when I hear fans right now complaining because their favorite fighter got put into a 50-50 fight and their fighter loses. Now, the thing is this. With both fighters are on an equal footing, right? It's just a matter of whose team put together the better training camp, the better strategy. And when the fighter gets in the ring, it's a matter of who has the speed, the power, the IQ to implement the strategy and to make sure that they get the upper hand to fight and end up either knocking out or outboxing their opponent and going on to get a decision victory. But just because a fight is 50-50 on paper, some people tend to think, you know what, this is a bit intriguing. Kind of raises the question on if it's a 50-50 fight, is it going to end in a draw? And that is not what's been happening, has it? When you see a draw happening in a boxing match, a lot of times it's because the guy they really want to win, somebody put the bing bings on his ass. But the bottom line is, these fighters are getting in the ring and they're having a battle. And you're seeing some stuff happen here that some people aren't happy about. Now, recently we saw Beterbiev and Bivol. I saw somebody say, hey, that's not a 50-50 fight. Beterbiev was going to destroy Bivol. Then I heard somebody say, hey, that wasn't a 50-50 fight. Bivol should have destroyed Beterbiev. Now, I'm telling you, when you watch a fight like that, guys going back and forth, the ebbs and flows. Nobody want to give the other person the upper hand. That fight was as 50-50 as you can fucking make. Okay? Now, Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, that shit on paper was 50-50. But in the ring, it was not 50-50. Now, there's all kind of things that people have said that contributed to the result. Whether they feel there were things going on with Spence that benefited Crawford, it doesn't matter. But the bottom line is, you saw on paper it was 50-50, just like Bivol and Beterbiev. But when they got in the ring, it wasn't 50-50 at all. Okay? So we talk about speed, power, IQ, but also the size of a fighter, the reach of a fighter, the fighter's ability to make weight healthy. Okay? All those things come into play. But that's where, like I said, it brings that uniqueness. But the bottom line is, what's happening here, in my opinion, is I think the reason why so many fans are pissed off is because they're trying to decipher the intricacies that's determining the outcomes of these fights. And to me, it's not that goddamn hard. This is fighting. It's about inflicting the most damage you can on your opponent to either knock them out or get to a decision or make them quit. This is the hurt business. Who you can hurt the most? Deontay Wilder and Zhang, another fight where people are like, that's not a 50-50 fight. I kind of agree with that one. But we didn't think Wilder and Parker was a 50-50 fight either. Most people thought Wilder was going to get in there and put the goddamn boob squad on Parker. But that's not what happened, is it? So on paper, Wilder looked to be the favorite. And when they got in the ring, I think that was Wilder's fight to win, but he didn't let his hands go. So Parker demolished him. Then Wilder came back. He and Zhang, really, when you look at what Wilder has been able to do in the ring, and Zhang being a bit inconsistent, but you know Zhang is deadly in them first early rounds. That was, whether you want to agree or not, on paper, it's a 50-50 fight because you just know it's a matter of who lands first. But shit didn't go Deontay Wilder's way. And we all blame Freaky Maliki and shit, but it didn't go his way. So the thing is, when you have 50-50 fights, you know, are these horrible style matchups because they're not ending up in draws and because you're seeing guys lose? You know, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, I thought that was a 50-50 fight. A lot of people didn't. I thought Ryan would beat him. Even Devin said this is pretty much an evenly matched fight. But the way it went, again, a lot of people are shocked. Now, I understand the whole thing with Osterine, but look, there's just so many other essential elements that come into play when we start talking about boxing. And I think the sport does a good job when you see fighters get in the ring of kind of highlighting the multifaceted nature of fighters. And when you see all the different things happening, again, the 50-50, on paper, the 50-50 matchup starts to kind of go different directions, round after round. And that's just, to me, the brilliance of boxing and fighters, and for them to make those adjustments. If you're doing something good, you tend to want to keep doing it. But if the opponent picks up on it, they make an adjustment. Now, if the opponent can't make an adjustment, then you can see shit end up real one-sided, like Wilder and Zhang. Wilder never made an adjustment. Bacoli and Jared Anderson never made an adjustment. But you watch Crawford and Majimov, there were adjustments after adjustments after adjustments being made. That is what I'm talking about, the multifaceted nature of the sport of boxing. And to me, that was just very, very amazing. But let's see what happens going forward, because I just think we're getting away from this clear-cut nature of getting draws. I even think that what you're going to see going forward is getting away from the clear-cut nature of fighters getting knockouts. I think you're going to see these fights becoming more competitive, and I think fighters are looking to and saying, okay, especially over there at goddamn Matchroom, I'm getting in the fight that's 50-50. Eddie Hearn doesn't want his guys to lose again. And although we want to see the excitement, we want to see the leather fly, I think fighters are going to start being more cautious, because I think fighters are realizing, shit, these fights we're getting put in, it's really set up for us to sink or swim. And the whole thing about swimming, like what was his name? Naseem Richards said, you got to swim without getting wet. Some of these boys are getting wet when they're swimming. I think you can see more feints, more deceptive type of movements in the ring. I think you're going to see these guys being more strategical. And I think you're going to see that starting with their sparring, with their training, and that's going to correlate to their in-ring performance on fight night. And some people are going to be pissed off about it because they're not going to get the mash-up, crash-up, which is what they want. These strategic intricacies, man, is just something that is going to add another layer of complexity on there for boxing fans, and that's just not what they want to see. But I'm going to say this again. I want to see a 50-50 fight. I want to see a mash-up, crash-up. I want to sit here and say, damn, I don't know who's going to win. But just for fun, I'm going to pick a name. Because we've got a lot of those fights since Turki Alalshikh has entered into boxing. And it looks like we're going to continue to have those going forward. And the good thing about it, what I don't think some fans realize, is these fighters who are losing, these fighters are getting paid big money. Huge money. They were talking the other day about, there was a fighter who took a fight. It was the money he got paid to basically go into a fight where, that's who it was. It was Bob Arum was talking about Jared Anderson. And what he was saying is he and his team didn't want that. The Top Rank didn't want that for Jared Anderson. They said that was a horrible matchmaking. But they said, Turki Alalshikh goes directly to the fighter. And the type of money that they offered Jared Anderson for that Bacoli fight, he didn't say how much, but he said they gave him the kind of money you can't turn down. So that tells me that, Jared Anderson probably got paid about $5-6 million. Now, I don't know, but I know he didn't get paid no $250,000, not even $1 million. So for Bob Arum to say they paid that man the kind of money you can't turn down, I believe he made probably like $5 million or so. Word is Terrence Crawford made like $40 million, but you're not really getting these numbers from reliable sources. But I believe Terrence Crawford probably made about $30 million headlining that card, and I believe those guys in the undercard get more than what's being reported. I really do. But the bottom line is, with Turki Alalshikh putting this money up, you're going to see guys getting into the ring and kind of rolling the dice. It's a good example of somebody who looked like he was going to be the next big thing, or one of the next big things in the sport of boxing in particular, and the heavyweight division, is Makhmudov. And you saw what happened with Makhmudov. They put his ass in with Kabayel. That shit didn't go his way. Then they came and put him in with somebody else. I can't remember the guy's name. And Makhmudov got the shit beat out of him. So people start getting exposed when they start really getting the 50-50 fights. But we shouldn't knock them. You know what I mean? I think that's a good thing when you see fighters get in the ring and give us a good fight, whether they win or lose. Because I think if every fight went to a draw, that simply implies that it's neither a victory nor that it is a defeat. And for the fighters, it doesn't really align them with the win or loss on their record. So it's almost like they came and, I ain't gonna say they're just twiddling the thumbs, but they just came and they went. And they stay in the same position that they held prior to arriving at that spot. And I think with all fighters, they want after that to have some kind of movement up the ladder, some kind of upward trajectory. And when you just have a draw, it doesn't happen. So everybody out here getting pissed off because you're seeing guys out here losing, or they're wishing that they was getting more draws. I mean, I don't know what to say, but what I will say, man, is when these guys get in the ring and they put up a valiant effort, that can lead to other opportunities and possibly rematches and taking them and putting them to another big fight because they're going to get in the ring and perform. But I'm trying to think of something that's a horrible style matchup that was made where even I said that's a suicide mission. Rolly and Pitbull. I thought that shit was a suicide mission. I was like, Rolly, he got some power, but I don't know if he's going to beat him. I'm going to pick Rolly because I like him, but I think he loses. Jared Anderson, Bacoli. I knew that shit was going to happen. Like, I knew that was going to happen. I would say Devin Haney and Ryan, but all the bullshit happened with Ryan. I don't want to talk about that one because it's not really fair. Wilder and Zhang, knew that shit was going to happen. Edgar Berlanga and Canelo. I felt Canelo should win, but I was rooting for Berlanga. I thought Heredia could be the difference. I knew Andre would lose to David Benavidez. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't think there's anything else I've seen that really had me feeling the kind of way. But the bottom line is, it's good that we're getting these fights, man. But you just can't make these fans happy. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. So, anyway, y'all can sit here, man, complain all you want. Take it to the stupid. Y'all going to be miserable this weekend after Regis Prograis fights Catterall. To me, that's a 50-50 fight. But I do think Catterall has the advantage. But Regis has the power. He has the record. But this ain't the same Regis. These guys getting older, man. But I see some people are saying that, hey, here it is, another horrible style matchup being made. Regis is going to get destroyed. I think he loses, but I don't know if he gets destroyed. But I think he loses. But what do you want? You know what I'm saying? It ain't for a title. It's two guys who are in position to get back to title contention. What do you want them to do? You know, Fury and Usyk rematch. You know, what do you want them to do? You know what? What do y'all want? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Y'all keep cool. If these fights they've been making lately over the last year and a half, if they've been horrible style matchups, I'm looking forward to even more of them, even more of them, because I mean I'm really sitting here not knowing who's gonna win. Like I really, and most of these, I just don't know. Subriel Martis and Paro. I said Subriel should win, but I think Paro you gonna upset him. It's like I just have a feeling Paro's gonna get him. Paro can fight. Went to Puerto Rico and upset him. You look at Bakoli and Anderson. You look at Zoo and Mertens Aliyev. Who would have thought Zoo and Mertens Aliyev would go the way it went? I said it depends on who lands the big right hand first. But I did not know it would go like that. I'm gonna tell you that shit right now. And that's what's good. That's supposed to have your head spinning because Zoo's head was spinning for sure. And I know mine was because I'm always rooting for Ozzy, or Tim Zoo. But anyway, y'all keep cool. Quit complaining about the goddamn fights. You could be back out here seeing, what's that guy named Salka? And he fought Danny Garcia. Y'all can be seeing shit like that. Guy come out 1 round, blast the dude out the ring. Y'all don't want to see that bullshit. Let's keep getting these competitive fights. That's what we should be glad about, not complaining. Anyway, in the breeze.